Nottinghamshire were made to wait again to confirm their place in the Yorkshire Bank 40 semi-finals after they lost for the second time in 3 days, going down by 4 wickets with 9 balls left at Sussex, for whom Ed Joyce scored a brilliant undefeated 123. Notts lost Michael Lum to the first legal ball of the match before James Taylor, back at the ground where he scored 100 for Sussex against the Australians last month, was superbly held at slip by Chris Jordan. That put the Outlaws on 11 for 2, both wickets to Lewis Hatchett, and they were nearly 3 down only for Samit Patel to get away with this edge, just. Notts had missed the chance to confirm their place in the semi-finals when losing at home to Worcestershire on Tuesday, and they were not making a very good stab at this game either. That though soon changed as Patel and Alex Hale started to put bat to ball to very good effect, with plenty of fours being hit in their ideal partnership. They tried to make the most of the first power play, ignoring what had gone on before, as they hurried the score along, bringing up the 100 after 16 overs. It was a good pitch to bat on once in, and Hales was enjoying himself as he reached a 50 off 43 balls with his 7th boundary. After those early wickets, normal service had resumed at the top of the Nottinghamshire order, with these two adding 102 together in 16 overs. Patel made 43 of those, and he was out at 113 for 3 in the 19th over as he found Luke Wright at long leg off Chris Liddle. That brought in David Hussey, who chose this day to play his best innings of the summer for the county. He wasted no time in getting on with things with some early boundaries off Will Beer, although overs 20 to 30 largely belonged to the Sharks, with 69 runs coming from them, but crucially as far as Notts were concerned, they included no wickets. Hale struck his only 6 in that time too, as he moved towards his brilliant 100, which was reached in the 31st over with a single off his 87th delivery. His innings had kept up the same pace throughout, and he now had the last 9 overs to really have a go with Hussey to add to his side's 197 for 3. But he didn't make the most of those final overs, as in the next one he was taken in the deep by Rory Hamilton-Brown off Michael Yardie for 101, an innings including 11 fours and 1 6. It was an important wicket at this stage for Sussex. Ricky Vessels was rather gifted a maximum then by Yardie to get his innings moving quickly. Well, at the other end, Hussey picked up his pace by getting to a 50 off 47 balls with his 5th 4. Notts then went rather crazy in the last 5, in which they smashed 61 runs to post an imposing total. Both Hussey and Vessels went after Hatchett, who'd started the match off in such a promising fashion. These shots, though, proved that even a big score approaching 300 was not going to be an easy one to defend. It was a pitch which the batsmen were enjoying. Vessels did in making a 24-ball 34, only for Hatchett to get him out in the penultimate over with a full toss, which was thumped to Hamilton-Brown in the deep. Hussey helped take a dozen runs off the last over to end on a scintillating 82 from 64 deliveries, as Nottinghamshire finished on 290 for 5, a score they would no doubt have been pleased with. But it soon appeared as if it was not going to be enough, as Wright and Joyce did what they'd done against the Dutch on Tuesday by blasting the ball to all parts from the start of their reply. Both began by finding plenty of fours, which saw them get off to the perfect start, but in truth, Wright hadn't even started yet. Lifted by his promotion to captain the England Lions in some one-dayers next week against the Bangladesh A-side, Wright has hit top form just at the moment that the visitors here wished he hadn't. These were his first 3 sixes, which saw him race to another 50 from just 33 balls. This coming after a sensational century made in a flash against the Netherlands just a couple of nights ago. It looked as if he was going to match that against this better attack as he cleared the rope for a 4th time in making 62 off 42 balls out of an opening stand of 112 in 13 overs. So Notts would have been mightily relieved when he, for once, failed to clear the rope off Ajmal Shahzad, finding Vessels instead at deep cover. But if the Outlaws thought that that was going to be the end of the carnage, then they were mistaken, as Matt Machin simply picked up where Wright had left off. And with Joyce easing his way to another half-century off his 45th delivery, and innings including 7 fours, then there was still much work to be done for the visitors, who looked dead set to make the semis of this competition at the start of this week. That, though, is no longer the case. With Northamptonshire winning again, there will be all to play for on Bank Holiday Monday. That was partly due to this knock from Machen, who actually went at an even faster rate than Wright before him. He helped his side to reach 178 for 1 at the halfway stage of their innings, leaving them just another 113 to get off the last 20 at less than a run a ball. Machen's magnificent 50 occupied just 25 deliveries with 7 fours and 1 6, and he went on to add 96 in less than 11 overs with Joyce, who again played his role perfectly. Machen was out on the sweep to Hussey for a dynamic 51, but by the time he left, only 83 were wanted from 16 and a half overs, and the game had pretty much already slipped away from Nottinghamshire's grasp. Perhaps they could have fought back had they managed to get rid of Joyce, a man who always seems to score runs against his opposition. His 100 arrived off only 78 balls, with him seemingly playing a containing role in comparison to Wright and Machen. Not a bit of it, as he recorded the 13th one-day three-figure score of his excellent career. The way he goes about his business, it's a wonder why he didn't play more than 17 ODIs and a pair of T20s for England. In the end, his innings was needed, as Sussex had a little wobble. With 58 required, Chris Nash drove Harry Gurney out to Vessels on 12. Then, 14 runs later, Yardy edged a drive off Shazad behind to go for 8. Shazad then grabbed his third wicket in his next over by having Hamilton Brown call off a slog to mid-wicket. And a fourth wicket fell in the space of 7 overs when Jordan was bowled by Stephen Mullaney, which left Sussex on 259 for 6 with 7 overs remaining. But Beer came in and supported Joyce well, and it was a 6 off Jake Ball which finally sorted out this game. He'd made 20 off 18 to leave Joyce unbeaten on an outstanding 123 as the Sharks reached their target in the penultimate over. They took the game by 4 wickets, and that leaves Notts needing to win their last group match away at Kent to guarantee a semi-final place, which had appeared to be theirs for much of the season. They will still qualify if Northamptonshire don't beat Warwickshire a week on Monday. And they could still claim the best runners-up spot, so all is not lost for them just yet.